Hey, welcome to the ZORS, your source for based writer content, I guess. I was called a very based writer the other day, so very cool, appreciate it, very nice of you to say. I'll take that as a compliment. I just think for myself, and if that makes me based, I guess so. I've always been about trying to step back for a second and think about my decisions, and sometimes I'm a little bit too cautious, and that's just from life, making mistakes and learning from it, and now trying to not repeat those mistakes. And that's life. You stand back, you look at what's going on, and you recollect your own thoughts. One thing I learned to do, actually I started doing around, well, I guess I always been this way, but it became more of a conscious effort, starting when the economy crashed in 2008. And so I'll tell you my story real quick. So I was working a very good job in 2008. It was had a lot of benefits to it, okay? And you'll see where I'm going with this. And so I had a lot of benefits, and I was very much identity focused, right? I identified myself on my job, based on my job, which is a mistake. No one ever do that. You want to identify yourself based on you, based on things that you do, things you like, who you are, who you believe you are. You're a combination, right? You're a combination of who you believe you are, your life experience, the decisions you make, the things you have to take accountability for, the people reliant on you, and the people you relate with, the people you are in contact with, whether it's your family or only friends or whatever, right? The combination of all this stuff kind of compiles in and makes you who you are, right? Your beliefs, values, all that stuff, your upbringing, etc. So most of these things you can change. Most of the things that aren't that have anything to do with the past, there are things you can change about yourself, right? You don't like the way you look, you can change certain things. You're obese, okay, you can change that. You slouch and so your neck is doing this weird thing, you can fix that, right? And so, one thing I made a mistake about that I learned the hard way was I had identified myself with my job. And so I had to change that forcibly because the economy crashed, I lost my job, and it wasn't just that, you're replaceable. It's everybody in this place was replaceable. We're going to take total advantage of this by getting rid of everybody, and then what we'll do is we'll reconvene, and then what we'll do is hire you back with no benefits, basically, right? So at that point for me, I had already washed away that identity. I had gotten that away from me because I wanted to just get my bills paid, right? I had come to a realization that none of this was real, right? None of this was real, it was all fake. And so walking away from that was the first step to my independence, really. And ever since then, I've been a merc. Ever since then, I have been a merc. Now, there have been times where I'm more dependent than less dependent, right? But overall, I've always been disassociated from the job I have. Any day now, it could be gone, and I've made my peace with it. Now, again, this is not to say hate your job, hate everybody there. That's not what this is. This is me just telling you, you don't have to, identifying with this is not healthy, and it's, never going to be healthy. But also, I learned the hard way to just be more independent. This kind of focused my life in a more independent way. And so I guess mentally for me, it kind of started the path of all the different areas I could be independent in. And it took time, when the election happened, right? The 2016 election happened, and people were going crazy and stuff like that. I had to learn to walk away from certain people who were, my friends. I thought they were my friends, and they just were going nuts every time. Couldn't have a conversation with them. I could no longer have real world conversations with these people. They were obsessed with the news. They were glued to that thing. They were glued to the news, addicted to it. It was their life. This was a cult. It became a cult. I found myself less and less having anything related to do with these people. And it was kind of sad to realize, wow, am I alone in this? Am I the only person who's like normal right now? What is happening, right? This isn't life. This isn't real life. Like, yes, there are, things you believe in and all that stuff. That's fine. Whatever. Believe in whatever you want to believe in. But you can't take that off the table when you're having a conversation with people. You can't, have a conversation with your friends. Okay. It really woke me up to the reality of, what is friendship? What is, these labels we give each other, right? What is this, right? And I kind of woke up to that, and now I'm more cautious. I'm more, a lot more cautious and a lot more, careful with whom I would call friend, whom I would associate with. These are things that are important that you have to figure out for yourself. But again, for me, this is me telling you, this was my journey. Like, oh wow, I was ego invested in this camaraderie. Okay, well, I guess I'll have to learn to, make new friends and also move on, right? And that took a while. I even moved. I said, this place is getting crazy. They're changing the laws. They're making things more rampant, more violent. The area is, it's unsafe. I was like, I got a family. I got to get out of here. So I moved, and then it was good for a while. And then it kind of got more woke in this area again. And it was really kind of heartbreaking to see again it happening. So I had to move again. And so that kind of detached me from a location. And then right around the same year, this was 2017 at this point, right around the same year, the Star Wars thing happened, and the Marvel thing was happening. And so it took me a while, it took me about a year or so, but I had learned to walk away from those things. I was like, all right, Star Wars is gone, and then Marvel's kind of dead to me, like the comics specifically. It's like, wow, I can no longer, these people hate us. They hate people who just are not left. Like, if you're just not left, or you don't think about politics and it's not your life, then they hate you. It's like, wow, I can't financially support these people. I cannot buy these products. I'm done. I can't unsee the people in the product, right? And so for me, I had to walk away. Like, I get it when someone says they can separate the art from the artist. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But for me, it was like, I'm supporting these people. I cannot. They hate us. They hate me. I can't support this financially. I just can't do it. And so that was hard, man. It took me some long, deep, searching. I had to look in my passions. Like, I made a list of all the things I was into, like all the comics and all this stuff. And it was, in a weird way, it was like time to grow up, And by grow up, I don't mean drop your hobbies, but really it was time to look at the hobby like what it truly was, a hobby, right? And just be okay with walking away. And so I learned to walk away, and that made me into a content creator, because I started making the stuff I always wanted to exist, and the stuff that's not around anymore. And there's some creators and writers out there who make stuff that make stuff harken back into the day, but you have to really search for them. It's almost like Google doesn't want to make sales. It really is true. The social media, the future is a dark future, and it pretty much permeates all of search engines. Like, you can't search things anymore and not get Reddit, not get garbage Facebook, Instagram, things that are trash, like these websites that nobody cares. Like, nobody cares about these websites when they're looking for things that they want to buy. I'm sorry, no one's going to Facebook and saying, let me type up this thing. No one's doing that. They're going to Amazon, they're Googling, they're looking at if there's a book, they're looking for eBay deals, they're looking for Barnes and Nobles. Normies are not saying, hey, Facebook, what do you think? Facebook store is garbage. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows the marketplace is for local stuff only. If you can find a local person to buy something used from, that's great. But that's all it's for. Nobody is looking for this other stuff. It's just not the way to go. Even the people who make content, they hate Facebook. So nobody cares about this stuff. They are literally getting robbed when they use Facebook ads. So I'm sorry, Mark Zuckerberg, you're robbing people. It is what it is. And so it's kind of funny how these things turned out, man. It really is funny. Because at the end of the day, I'm just like, wow, I can't believe that we're in a dark future where you can't even like search your own stuff when you made a content, made something, and there's people looking for it. Because I'm one of those people looking for more based content, more old-fashioned fantasy books and classic fantasy, high sorcery and stuff like that. Things that are not today's modern era, modern audience crap. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not saying if you like it, that's great. I'm glad you found something you like, but I have my own taste and I want to look for stuff that's out there, that's different. That's not what we are getting at the Barnes & Noble front end shop. Okay, that's just not who I am. Like, that stuff's not for me. I know what I like, and I want to read more of it. And so you start to see this weird timeline merge, right? You have this weird moment of like, okay, I'm looking for stuff that I want to read and consume, and I can't even get that. Meanwhile, the mainstream crap is pushed on you constantly like a drug. It's like they know it's garbage. It's like they know it's a drug. They know it's a drug to get people to just kind of be consumers. You know what I mean? Just like pay pigs, basically. I'm sorry, that's not my thing. Okay, I'm not into the fandom. Thank you. I'm gonna pass on that. I have self-respect. Okay, I don't want this stuff. I'm good. If you want to read it, great. God bless you. Not saying you're a bad person or stupid or whatever. Everybody has their own taste. I have my own taste. When I say no to the algorithm and I say, please don't show me this ad again, or don't recommend me this channel again, I don't want to see it again. But meanwhile, lo and behold, we see it again in the search engine. We see it again in YouTube. YouTube is notorious for this, by the way. Search for something and you will get woke crap in your search feed. It's just mainstream. I'm going to start calling it mainstream slop. Like brain slop, mind slop. It really is mind slop. No thanks. You can keep your mind gruel to yourself, okay? All right? Keep that cosmic Lovecraftian oatmeal garbage to yourself. Thank you. I'll pass. You know what? I'm sorry. I apologize. That's an insult to oatmeal. That is an insult to oatmeal. I take that back. We'll stick with gruel. Okay? Keep the gruel, okay? I don't want the slop. All right? Keep it to yourself. Thank you. All right, YouTube. All right, Google. These mega corps, man. I'm telling you, mega corporations are 100%. They are doing everything they can to try to brainwash you. Like, this content you're asking for me to consume, I already know it's garbage. It's bad for me. It's sugar. It's worse than sugar. Okay? It's worse than sugar. That's what I'm going to say. It's worse than sugar. Man, I can't believe this is the world we live in. I really think we really are in Shadowrun. I made the joke a couple of years ago, and I made the joke during Katana, but now I'm like really convinced this is actually a Shadowrun dark future. But the way it turned out was way less high tech and more on the clean. Like, instead of a dark future where it's grungy and there's like, keyboards everywhere, it's more like very clean and sleek kind of trashy future. Anyways, that's it for now. Let me know what you think about that. That was a lot, I know. I apologize. My bad. I'm sorry. Hit the like button. Share this. I appreciate it. God bless. Have a great day. Bye-bye.